Long ago, the four grades lived in harmony. That all changed when the faculty attacked. Only the student teacher and master. There's a murder in this. Someone does a murder. Okay. I wasn't gonna do another one of these so soon, but I found a really good one. Okay, I found a real good one. If you're an Avatar fan, you may remember those chibi Avatar shorts. They did one called School Time Shipping that came out with the box sets they released. This is kind of like that, except with one twist. The twist is murder. Hey, in 10 points, you can guess the culprit right now. Do it before, don't cheat. Alright, the last time I did a reading of the weirdest Onceler fanfiction, which is O'Hare Industries. You can go check that out. Today, we're going to be looking at Avatar High, complete. It is truly a masterpiece, and I'm very excited to get into it. Okay, let's just start with the prologue. Zuko glanced at his reflection and growled. There was no way he was going to a new school with a scar. You'll be late, Iroh called. Zuko sighed. I'm coming. Are you excited? No. Zuko answered truthfully. You should be. Great. Zuko faked happiness. Another place for people to make fun of me because of my stupid scar. He mentioned to the maroon burn that covered his right eye. He grabbed his backpack and headed out. Today, he was the new kid, whether he liked it or not. If that doesn't convince someone to read the rest of the story, I don't know what will. Chapter 1. Katara walked through the hallway angrily. She was always the one that had to be assigned to help the freaky new kids. Why is she so mean? This time, she was assigned to a Zuko. a Zuko. She grumbled as she saw him in the hallway. Let me see your schedule, she said, trying to hide her anger. You have all your classes with me. Cool. First, it's Mr. Paku with science. Go to your locker and I'll meet you there. She pointed to a spot close to the cafeteria. One more thing, she said. What? What's with the scar? Oh my god, Katara, you can't just ask someone why they have a scar. I don't like to talk about it. Oh, she says. They split up and Katara was happy to be away from him for a while. Like, you literally just met him and you were the bitch here. Suki, wait up. Katara ran after the redhead, who was her best friend, and hugged her. I missed you. Summer was so boring without you. She shrugged. My parents dragged me off to see my grandma Kiyoshi. She made a face. Without my phone. Both girls waved goodbye and headed towards their lockers. Katara opened her locker and hung up her locker decorations. Once she had her stuff, she slammed her locker and was surprised to see Zuko had the locker next to her. That's convenient. Wow, he waved and she ignored him. What a stone cold bitch. She knew he was hurt, but she didn't care. Looking at the comments here, Jesus, Katara, you don't just ask that. Why is Katara mean? They're beautiful, by the way. Chapter 2. Katara gracefully walked into Mr. Paku's class, with Zuko right behind her. Katara noticed Ty Lee waving at her. She waved back, but Azula glanced at her with her fiery amber eyes. Katara walked up to Ty Lee and took a seat next to her. What are you doing here? Azula hissed. Katara glared at Azula with her icy blue eyes. Is there a problem, Miss Katara? Mr. Paku asked me. Azula sat there with a smug look on her face and a cocky smile on her lips. No, Mr. Paku, she simply answered. She could see Aang out of the corner of her eye in the back of the room, laughing. She also saw Zuko sulking. So, normal. Today we'll be discussing space and the theoretical probability of earthbending consumed in a red giant. Of earthbending consumed in a red giant. I have no idea okay. I don't know what lesson. I don't know. As Katara scrambled for her notebook, Ty Lee whispered, Don't worry about Azula. Once she accepts you, she won't be like this. If she accepts me, you mean. Ty Lee shrugged. She accepted me. She accepted May. Katara scribbled down what Mr. Paku was babbling about, and when the bell rang, Ty Lee asked, See you at lunch? Doubt it, Azula sneered as she walked by. Katara growled as she and May walked down the hall. Zuko silently asked Katara, Where to now? Math, with Mr. Ozai. Oh, me too! Ty Lee piped up, let's go! When Katara and Zuko and Ty Lee walked into Mr. Ozai's lab, Toph was greeting them. Okay. Katara flipped her hair, looking angelic to Zuko. Toph shrugged. Whatever. Mr. Ozai walked in. His presence sent a chill down Zuko's spine. As he looked out to the other students, he stopped when he saw Zuko and narrowed his eyes. Okay, I knew that was going to be good when I read Mr. Ozai walked in. His presence sent chills down Zuko's spine. As he looked at the other students, he stopped when he saw Zuko and narrowed his eyes. You know that moment when you walk into a classroom and you find out your dad is the teacher? And also, I guess, not the Fire Lord anymore? Because, yeah, that's what this is. Mr. Ozai walked over to where Zuko sat and leaned over. I know why you're here, and it's not going to happen. That's not why I'm here. Iroh forced me to. Why does he think he's here? Right, Mr. Ozai replied sarcastically. Everyone in the room watched him, bewildered at what happened. What happened? After Mr. Ozai walked back to his desk, Katara leaned over and whispered, "What's your problem?" Zuko glared at her and answered, "None of your business. It's just my fucking dad." It's so weird, though. She shrugged and turned to Ty Lee, who whispered something in her ear. They giggled and pulled out their notebooks. As Mr. Ozai instructed, he walked around and passed out math books. Our first unit is accentuate the negative. Please work on problem 1.1 on page 3 until the bell rings. Bring! Oh, and I guess the bell rang. That was pretty convenient. Katara met up with Zuko outside the classroom. Okay, we have gym next. When they made it down to the gym, everybody got assigned gym clothes and a locker. They were told to change, and when they were done, Ty Lee, Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, Suki, and Zuko met up outside. Roll call! Coach Boulder boomed. They automatically lined up and sat. Coach started to call out names. Zuko, there's someone in the office for you. Zuko trudged down the hallway and turned a corner. Coach Boulder said someone had been in the office for him, but who? He entered the office and found an unexpected face. Zuko, she called out. Mom, he gasped. They embraced. Why are you here, Mom? Yeah, why are you... What? She pushed back her hair and saw a scar. Where did you get that? There were tears in his eyes, and he said imperceptibly, Ozai. What? He did this to you? Zuko nodded. Okay, so I guess Alright, so I have no idea what's going on at this point, but I assume because Fire Lord Ozai, Mr. Ozai is now demoted to a teacher, no longer Fire Lord, and no longer the Fire Lord. The banishment didn't stick for his wife, so she just came back as well. Alright, there's an author's note as well. OMG, Ursa's back. Yeah, I have some questions for you. Oh, I guess, yeah, okay, I guess they're asking us some questions. What did Zuko want from Ozai? Why is Ursa in the office? What will she do to Ozai? Will you vomit on this story? Cross his fingers. Please say yes. Oh, I think they meant comment. They wrote vomit. Okay, yes. Chapter 4. Ursula was fuming. Ozai had burned her son after she left. Zuko directed her to Ozai's class and left for gym. He couldn't stand watching his mom and dad fight each other at school. It would ruin his already pathetic reputation. I guess he just got here. Once he got to gym, Katara asked, Who was in the office for you? None of your business, you nosy bitch. My mom. And that's a big deal because... Damn, Katara, you asked. He growled at her indifference. I haven't seen her since I was 10. She shrugged. My mom was killed in a fire when I was 5. Whoa! Katara. Yeah, okay, Katara, you can calm down a little bit. It's not exactly a contest. He walked away. You wouldn't understand, he muttered. Jet walked up to Katara and put an arm around her. Don't worry about... He looked at Zuko with disgust. Him. Get your hands off of me, Jet. We aren't a couple, remember? And you're a couple with this trash. At that, Zuko lost it. I'll show you trash. He punched Jet in the face. Yeah, go Zuko, Coach Boulder and Toph cheered in union. Yes, please, beat up this child. What? Retaliated and was about to return the blow when Zuko's lightning-fast reflexes kicked him into the ground. "Detention, both of you," said Principal Zhao. "Detention, both of you," said Principal Zhao. Principal Zhao. How does he have a higher tower? How did he get a higher title than Ozai? What? Okay, for some reason, Fire Lord Ozai is just like a normal teacher, but Zhao gets to be the principal for some reason. I wonder if he lives in this version. We already know that someone's gonna die. "This will not be permitted in my school!" Zuko and Jet growled at each other. It looked like Zuko just made a rival. It had been lunch, and already Zuko had a detention, a rival, a teacher who hated him, aka my dad, and a messed up reputation. Now we go to history with Mr. Jongjong. Suki has history with us, and then it's lunch. Katara said. Zuko grabbed his stuff and followed Katara. In history, Zuko took a seat in the back to keep from getting in more trouble. A girl with black hair that covered her face and bangs that hid her eyes sat next to him. She had scars that ran up and down her arms. She was clearly emo. Oh, I don't like that. Please don't do that. "Hi, I'm May." "I'm Zuko." She nodded. "I hate high school." "Me too." "I hate the world." "Yep, definitely emo." "So?" She looked at him. "Last year, my so-called best friend," she made air quotes, "forgot my birthday. Her name is Azula." "Selfish, greedy, arrogant." "Yeah. How'd you know?" "Yeah, aren't they siblings? What?" The dynamics in this fanfiction are so weird. And Ozai's their parents, so it's like they practically they only address it sometimes. It's weird. "Yeah, how'd you know?" "I know the type." The bell rang and everyone took their seats. "Do you know Jet?" "He's a jerk. Why?" "He is a jerk. He got me in detention." "Who cares?" The bell rang and they headed to lunch. Wow, these are the shortest classes ever. Uh, "Want to sit with me?" He shrugged. "Sure." They walked up and sat down. Jet spotted them from across the cafeteria and said, "It's payback time." "Jet, what are you doing?" Katara asked. "Saving you from this trash." Zuko saw him walking up. "You want a rematch?" Jet cracked his knuckles. "Payback time." "Jet," Katara grabbed Jet's arm. "Leave him alone." Jet growled. He lunged at Zuko. "I said," Katara said, getting angry. "Leave him alone." She slapped Jet. "You want some?" Katara shook her head and left. Zuko left. What? Left too. Okay, I guess they just left. That de-escalated very quickly. After school, Zuko trudged to the principal's office. He wasn't looking forward to detention. "Do you think it was him? Really?" "I'm telling you, it was him. He acted weird, and when Mr. Ozai talked to him, Zuko's heart stopped. They were talking about him." "Are you sure?" "Yes," the voice said, exasperated. Zuko opened the door in his house. Why were those people talking about him? "Uncle," he called. Once he found his uncle in the kitchen, he threw down his stuff. "Uncle, do you know what happened to Ozai? My dad? You just saw him." Iroh turned around, face pale then shaking. "Ozai, Zuko, Ozai is dead." "Zuko, Ozai is dead." "What?" Zuko faltered. "He's dead?" Iroh nodded solemnly. "I can't believe I let this happen." Oh my god, do you think it was the mom? "It's not your fault." He walked away and took his stuff. When Ursa heard the news, she was devastated because she knew she was going to prison. "I knew Ozai was a bad guy, but," tears streamed down her face, "he didn't deserve to die like that." The next day, when Zuko and Katara went to math, they were greeted by a new teacher. "Hello, kids," he snorted. "What am I doing here? Oh, right, I'm Mr. Boomy." He crazily laughed. "Oh, there's a note. I was bored." I was bored, so I killed off terrible dad man. Katara and Ty Lee exchanged a look. The uptight teacher was better than the crazy one. Oh man, I wish our old teacher wasn't murdered. What was I supposed to do again? Anger feigned from laughing out loud. "This is the best they could do?" he whispered to Zuko. Zuko smiled. Everyone's pretty mean to Boomy. After school, he thought about who could have done that to Ozai. In his head, he ruled off possibilities. Not Ursula. She didn't know about it. Surely not Iroh. He was too nice and sweet. Azula? Maybe. Ty Lee? No. Katara? No. Aang? For sure, no. This was harder than he thought. That's all the people I've met. Damn it. No. After finishing the 2 tons of homework assigned by his crazy new math teacher, he talked with Iroh. Who do you think did it? Oh, that was Zuko. Who do you think did it? I think, Iroh responded, that you should think about you shouldn't think about the past. Even though it literally just happened. What? Iroh, bad advice. Yes, bottle up your feelings and keep them to yourself. That's what Iroh says. Okay, then we end with another author's note. Gasp! Ozai is dead and Zuko wants to find out who did it. Who do you think did it? I know, but I'll probably feel guilty for not putting it up and post like 4 more chapters. BTW, I'm listening to Poker Face. Random fact. Bye-bye. That's a mood. Just murdering the Fire Lord to Lady Gaga. That's a big mood. Ooh, this just took such a hard turn. Zuko turned the locker combination. He knew so well. When his locker opened, a note fell to the ground. He picked it up and read, his eyes widened. It was short and said, Dear Zuko, I have killed your father. You are next. His heart stopped. He didn't recognize the handwriting. He decided to show Iroh after school. Oh no, don't think about the past. It's fine. It was in the past. He tucked it safely back into his locker and headed towards science. All during science, Zuko's mind wouldn't pay attention. His thoughts kept drifting to the note. He tried studying people's handwriting, but all he got were a few weird looks. Zuko, you're such a weirdo. People thought it was weird when I asked if they could see if their handwriting murdered my dad. Mr. Paku made his way over to Zuko's desk. You need to go to the office, Zuko. His second time? Who knows what this time was for? Have a seat, Zuko. I have been expecting you, Zhao said. What? I've heard about your dad. Yeah, you probably had. Aren't you the principal? One of your teachers was murdered. I assume you would know about that. I love Zhao and his people skills so much. So sad, he said with a fake sugar in his voice. What do you know? Zuko asked angrily. Relax, I don't know anything, he said. You're lying. Tell me what you know. I don't know anything, but I know someone who does. He slyly smiled. What? Why did you ask him down here? What? What the fuck is going on? Your gym coach. Coach Boulder? Zhao had said that Coach Boulder knew something, but what? It was time for 3rd period, gym. Maybe he could get some answers. He grabbed the note from his locker and sprinted down to gym. He got inside, out of breath, quickly changed, and walked up to Coach Boulder. Coach, he asked, what do you want? I was wondering if you knew anything about this. He pulled out the note. Anything about what? He turned, and his eyes fell to the piece of paper in Zuko's hands. The Boulder knows nothing about that, he nervously said. Come on, Zhao. Said you know something. Wait, why would Zhao know? I don't understand it. Come on, Zhao said you'd know something. He said that? That traitor, I mean. Traitor? Were you bragging? What? This mystery is unraveling, but I have no idea where. Zuko narrowed his eyes. You know something, and you're not telling me. All right, but I didn't do it. I know who did. It's someone you know, but you would never expect it from him. Oh, okay. I know that. What else? I know that. What else? Like, who did it? Tell me. He is a master of disguise. That's all I can tell you. I witnessed a murder. Why is everyone in the school so cool with murder? They're just like, everyone knows. They're just like stringing this kid along on his 2nd day. What? Well, that didn't help Zuko much. Maybe it was one of his teachers. While he headed down to math, his thoughts swirled in his head. The cheerfulness of Mr. Boomy didn't help either. All right, kids, now, what was I supposed to do again? Oh, yeah! Pass back your quizzes. I just imagine jacked, like shirtless Boomy walking around, which is pretty great. Old man. The old man walked around and passed back the quizzes. When Zuko got his, something caught his eye the handwriting. He recognized it. His eyes widened in fear and recognition. It was the same handwriting in the note. He pulled it out and compared. It was the same. His hands shook in fear. At home, Zuko told Iroh what he had figured out. Zuko, leave it in the past. You are a very smart boy, Zuko. But how will you tell him you know? What do you mean tell him? Just call the police. And why does he want to kill you? I guess we have to keep reading. Easy. I'll drop off a note in the morning telling him to meet me outside the school on Saturday. Are you gonna beat him up like a cartoon bully? What? What will you do when you get there? Good question, Iroh. That's exactly what I was wondering. What will you do when you get there? Tell him I know and get my revenge. I'm gonna stab a bitch. Zuko scribbled down his notes. He walked down to Mr. Boomy's room. It was empty. Hello, Zuko. His blood went cold. He spun around and saw him. Boomy, how could you? It's not hard. Why would you kill him, though? Ozai is an evil person, and I don't know why you would defend him. He disowned you. Let's say I killed him for the thrills, and you're next. Boomy laughed at Zuko. He wasn't the old man, that was their math teacher. Zuko was agile, reflective. He dodged that the way he dodged Jet's hit. That's what it says. Suddenly, someone walked in. Jet. I knew it. They were working together the entire time. Okay, and we have some more author's notes for the end of this chapter. Sorry, guys, but I felt like ending it there. Don't hold it against me, but I'm sad to say that the next chapter is the last. I repeat, the last. Tear, cry, sob. Also, I think that Let It Rock by Kevin Rudolph or Just Like You by 3 Days Grace are perfect theme songs for this chapter. Search them up on YouTube. I agree. Let It Rock. I don't know about Let It Rock. Wait. Let It Rock. Son's disgrace. Okay. Zuko, I know what he did. And I want to say, Jet hesitated, I'm sorry. I had no idea what you were going through, but I can help you. He handed him a knife. Kill that bitch. Zuko fastened his hand around the handle, felt the blade, and, I'm sorry, I can't do it. He dropped the knife and it clattered to the ground. What? How? He killed your dad. Your bad dad. I know, but I just can't. As much as I want to, I can't. And with that, Zuko walked away. I guess he just walked away from the person who was trying to murder him. Alright. Zuko lay down on his bed. He ran his hands through his hair. The door creaked open. Zuko! Iroh's tender voice came out, and he stepped in. How could I have let him go like that? Sometimes you have to let go of what hurts, or it will grow like fire, consuming everything in its path. Tears ran down Zuko's face. Goodbye, Ozai, he whispered. And that's the end. Yep, that's the end of the story. All right. Whew. That's the end. Let's see, 10 out of 10, I would rate it a 12, and, let's nominate this thing for Golden Globes. I think that's for movies, but, this deserves it, so let's go. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Absolutely amazing. I don't know what else to say about it, honestly. There's just so much. So much. How did Katara and Azula, I don't know, become a couple? I don't know, but Ozai is dead, and there's still a murderer loose in the school. He's also absolutely insane and wants to kill more, so that'll go great. I'm sure. That was an amazing 3 days at Avatar High. I hope you enjoyed it. So this was this is pretty amazing. Thank you to the author who wrote this. I think Some of the oldest comments look like they're from back in 2013, so this is pretty old. Oh wait, there's some drama in the comments. I'm sorry to say this, but this wasn't very good. It was going by too fast and jumped from one place to the next. I hope your next story is a lot more interesting and presentable. And it looks like somebody commented back to them. Let's see you get 51 votes on one story with 11 chapters at the age of 12 because you could never do that. Okay, and I just want to state that this is an old story. It's from like this is like 6 years ago. So, and I just want to say I don't want to shame the author of this. I really enjoyed this. I think it was a lot of fun, even if it was a little silly from time to time. Part of the reason why I chose these fan fictions to read, um, Avatar High and O'Hare Industries, because they're very old, so that the writers obviously have moved on and they're different people. And like, I'm not trying to make fun of them or hold this against them in any way. So, like, obviously, the person who wrote this isn't 12 anymore, so I don't want to. Right, I don't want to shame actual children for writing fan fiction. I want to make that very clear. I really enjoyed your story and thank you for writing it. All right. Feel free to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to give me video ideas, definitely go for it. Or even fan fictions to read because I'm kind of liking this. All right. Bye bye.